Did I play the ATF rundown of the guy that got killed in Arkansas?
I know we've talked about it briefly,
Yeah. There was a
but I don't think
congressional
any
hearing
new
on
news.
it. This was a couple weeks old. I just wanted to get it out there since we were talking FBI tonight. Just sort of give you the idea of the American government operating at its finest.
Agents in full SWAT gear approached the front door.
So now, after all the FOIA requests and everything, we can see everything that happened that night. And what's this guy? Jim Jordan's going to give us a rundown.
They had a piece of tape ready to cover the camera lens of the doorbell camera, which they did. Next, Mrs. Malinowsky.
Piece of tape. These guys are pros, man. Screw that wireless stuff. What are we going to do? I wonder how much that piece of tape cost.
Oh, it cost the American taxpayers
Yes.
thousands of dollars.
We paid for $1,000 roll of tape to go over somebody's, and this is all at 6 a.m. in the morning, dark 6 a.m. in Arkansas.
Heard only a loud crash as her front door caved in.
So there was no knock. They just broke in.
Brian Malinowsky story is wild, and it makes me feel like maybe the ATF is the bad guy. Check this out.
Her husband Brian woke up to the sound of the crash, found a pistol, loaded a magazine, and left the bedroom to investigate.
All right. So, how many of you
all logical things to do.
Yes.
Although my magazine's already going to be loaded. I don't know why you'd waste your time trying to load something.
Maybe his wife was just saying that to, be on the up and up.
Brian warned his wife to stay behind in the bedroom, but Mayor stubbornly followed him down the hallway.
Grenades. I think grenades are the investment of the future. If you just chucked a few grenades, I learned that in Vietnam. When you knew someone was coming up on you, you just chuck a few grenades. That way they have no idea where it's coming from.
Nah, just the basic pin, rip, and chuck, baby.
The ATF apparently killed electricity to the home. The front room was usually well lit at night, but Mrs. Malinowsky saw only darkness as she peered down towards the front entryway. She could only see shadowy outlines of presumed home invaders standing in her front hallway.
No identification being yelled. What did this guy have?
I don't know.
That's what Brian saw too.
Brian they had night vision. You guarantee they were prepared and ready.
Yep. I thought you have to identify yourself. No identification, no yelling out once you break in. ATF.
Shots at the intruder's feet to drive them back out of the front door. The ATF shot Brian in the head. His wife was standing inches away from him. A mere 57 seconds. 57 seconds elapsed from the time agents covered the doorbell.
Look at all those vehicles pulling up.
Camera until gunshots erupted and Brian was fatally wounded. 6:02:46 to 6:03:43. Agents immediately dragged Mrs. Malinowsky into the front yard.
Oh, they didn't shoot her. That's interesting.
She was barefoot, wearing minimal night clothing, and the temperature was 34 degrees. They locked her in the back seat of a car and detained her there for 4 hours.
That's those three-letter agencies, man. All that fucking power in that little stick of theirs.
Using her many requests to check on her husband wouldn't allow her to get close or even use the neighbor's bathroom. Even though policies have been in place at both the ATF and the Little Rock Police Department for the past 3 years, requiring the use of body-worn cameras when executing any search warrant, the Department of Justice tells us that no body cameras were used.
What did he have? What did he have that caused a midnight raid? I mean, not midnight. It was 6 a.m. But it might as well have been. That's why, they never assassinate color people, I guess.
Yeah, because we're not home.
Yeah.
I mean, I've heard the stories like usually that 5 to 6 a.m. is usually their go-to time because it's going to help with the less startlement of the neighborhood. But for them to fully go in, like they might as well. It would have been a cleaner story if they would have just killed the wife too, because then when it comes out that the wife doesn't get shot and killed, that tells me they completely had the advantage. Night vision, everything to their advantage. And for him to get dotted right in the forehead, yeah, that whole thing stinks. And like you said, what in the world did he have in that house or somewhere that caused this big of a ruckus?
And to keep her out of the house for 4 hours.
Yeah.
We saw, and I know it's Afro Man, but at the same time, we saw what just a normal sheriff's department will do to a house, during a search warrant, whether it's based on any type of reality or not. Well, what were they doing with this guy? Just absolutely crazy. So keep your eye on it. I mean, we covered it when it first happened because he was the director of what was it? The Bill and Hillary Rodham Airport.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. And supposedly he was transferring, or he had bought too many guns or something like that. I can't remember the exact details. It was something with the purchase of guns is what they're claiming, but it was like 5 guns in question.
Yeah.
So what were these guns? It's
If it was guns at all.
if there was guns at all. Yeah, they, absolutely insane.
Don't
That's
attach.
suspicious. That's weird.